The world had never seen a conqueror like Alexander the Great, a man who crossed mountains, deserts, and empires to forge a realm stretching from Greece to India, uniting more of the known world than any ruler before him. But what happens when a godlike king dies without a clear heir? What happens when ambition, loyalty, and vengeance clash in the vacuum of his greatness? Imagine a young man, barely 20, thrust onto the throne of Macedonia, inheriting not just a kingdom, but the legacy of Philip II, a realm eager for conquest, yet riddled with intrigue and treachery. Driven by an insatiable thirst for glory and a vision of a unified world, Alexander marched east, turning the Persian Empire upside down, routing armies 10 times his size and inspiring fear and awe in equal measure. His victories at Granicus, Issus, and Gaugamela were not mere battles, but spectacles of strategy and courage, where the clash of swords and the roar of thousands created moments that would echo through history. Along the way, he embraced the lands he conquered, marrying foreign princesses, adopting local customs, and founding cities that bore his name, leaving footprints of Hellenistic culture across continents. Yet in doing so, he also sowed the seeds of division. His soldiers, exhausted and homesick, began to question the endless campaigns, and even his closest companions wrestled with the limits of loyalty. How far should one follow a man whose ambition seemed boundless? And here is the first question for you, viewer. Could a single human being ever truly unite such a vast, diverse world? Or was Alexander's dream doomed from the start? As his army pressed into India, facing war elephants and unfamiliar terrain, Alexander's legend grew, but so did the fragility of his empire. His brilliance as a general and leader could not erase the human costs. Thousands of lives lost, cities devastated, and families shattered by the unrelenting march of conquest. When he returned westward, the cracks began to show, not only in the loyalty of his men, but in the very structure of his empire, held together by the force of his personality rather than systems of governance. At 32, Alexander's sudden death left a power vacuum that no one could fill, igniting a series of conflicts among his generals, the Diadochi, each eager to carve out their own dominion from the fragments of his vision. Imagine the chaos. Generals who once fought side by side against the world, now turning their swords on one another. Armies fragmenting, and cities that had once symbolized unity, now trapped in a cycle of vengeance and ambition. How could a man whose name was whispered in reverence across continents leave behind a legacy so easily shattered? And here is the second question. Was Alexander a visionary who transcended his era, or a reckless genius whose ambition outpaced the stability of his empire? Think of Persepolis, once the jewel of Persia, set ablaze as both a statement of triumph and a warning. Or Alexandria in Egypt, a city that would outlast empires and become a beacon of learning and culture. These monuments, these scars, tell a story of brilliance intertwined with hubris, of a leader who achieved the impossible yet left behind a world in turmoil. The Macedonian phalanx, the disciplined soldiers who carried him through victory after victory, became instruments of both creation and destruction, and their loyalty, once unshakable, was tested in the void left by his passing. His empire, though short-lived, spread Hellenistic culture far and wide, blending Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and Indian traditions in ways that would influence art, science, philosophy, and politics for centuries. Yet the Diadochi Wars, the endless battles for control, remind us that human ambition rarely bows to legacy alone. Imagine generals who had once followed Alexander with devotion, now scheming in palaces, poisoning rivals, forging alliances, and betraying comrades, all in the name of claiming fragments of a dream that was never truly theirs. Through this chaos, the common people endured famine, displacement, and uncertainty, caught between the ambitions of men who carried the name of greatness, but none of the vision. And as you reflect on this, we invite you to leave your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done if you were in Alexander's position? Could the empire have survived if he had planned differently? Or was collapse inevitable once his mortal life ended? The story of Alexander the Great is not just a tale of military conquest. It is a lesson in human nature, leadership, and the delicate balance between ambition and sustainability. His campaigns pushed the boundaries of geography and imagination, inspiring awe in his soldiers and fear in his enemies. Yet every victory carried the seeds of unrest, every conquered city a potential spark for rebellion. Across mountains, deserts, and rivers, Alexander's path was one of relentless pursuit. But the human cost was immense. Lives sacrificed on the altar of ambition, families broken, and civilizations forever altered. And yet, despite this turmoil, the cultural fusion he inspired endured. A reminder that even in the aftermath of chaos, human creativity and adaptation can flourish. This is a story of glory and tragedy intertwined, of brilliance shadowed by impermanence, and of a man whose ambition reshaped the world but could not secure it. Remember to subscribe, like, and share this channel to dive deeper into the stories of history that shaped our world. From the dust of battlefield victories to the echoes in great libraries, Alexander's legacy challenges us to consider the duality of greatness. It can inspire awe, but also crumble under its own weight. His life forces us to ask, how much of legacy is built by action? And how much is sustained by careful planning, foresight, and the bonds we leave behind? Even as we study maps of empires lost and cities founded, we see the human story at the heart of every conquest, the emotions, ambitions, fears, and decisions that define history. And as you ponder this, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel to keep exploring history's most compelling tales, the triumphs and tragedies, the wars and the wisdom. Every siege, every alliance, every betrayal in Alexander's story illustrates the tension between the extraordinary vision of one man and the realities of ruling a complex world, reminding us that even the greatest conquerors are subject to the limits of mortality and the fickleness of human loyalty. From the roar of battle to the silence of an empty throne, Alexander's empire teaches that while ambition can achieve the impossible, it is the structures we leave behind and the people who sustain them that determine whether greatness endures or crumbles. And so, as we trace the rise and fall of this unparalleled empire, consider how power, vision, and human nature intertwine, and leave your thoughts below in the comments. What lessons can modern leaders learn from Alexander's triumphs and failures? Could today's empires withstand the same tests of ambition, loyalty, and succession? Let us know, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel to uncover more stories from history, to witness how the past continues to shape our present, and to explore the fascinating lives of those who dared to change the world. From the burning ruins of ancient cities to the enduring monuments of culture, Alexander's story is both inspiration and warning, a journey through human ambition, courage, and the inevitable fragility of empire. Through triumphs and tragedies, through genius and hubris, his tale captivates and challenges us, urging us to ask not just who he was, but what his life teaches about leadership, vision, and the impermanence of human achievement. And remember, subscribe, like, and share this channel to continue this journey into history, to witness the rise and fall of empires, and to explore the stories that define the world as we know it.